Have you ever wondered if chanting the name of Buddha or a sacred mantra during illness can actually save your life? Or worse, could it be harmful if done incorrectly? Welcome back to the channel, where we bridge ancient wisdom with modern dilemmas. Today's topic is as controversial as it is crucial. Should you chant when you're sick? And are there hidden risks if you do it the wrong way? In today's world, more and more people turn to spiritual practices not just for enlightenment, but for survival. When the body breaks down and medicine reaches its limits, many look inward. They light incense, they pray, they chant. But what if the very thing meant to help you ends up hurting you? Before we explore that question, let's get something straight. Chanting the name of the Buddha, be it Amitabha, medicine Buddha, or any sacred formula, is rooted in centuries of deep reverence. Entire schools of thought, especially in East Asian Buddhism, are founded on the power of sound and name recitation. But intent matters, context matters, and above all, awareness matters. Let me start with a real story. Islan was a devoted practitioner. In her mid-60s, she developed severe Lyme disease. Even when hospitalized, she insisted on chanting Amitabha the Buddha non-stop. She believed, wholeheartedly, that our practice would lead her to rebirth in the Pure Land. But as days passed, our physical condition worsened rapidly. He began hallucinating. Her family grew concerned not about our illness, but about our obsession. Visiting Dharma teacher finally told the family, "She is not chanting from clarity. She is chanting from fear. That energy becomes attachment and not liberation." Let that sink in. This isn't about whether chanting is good or bad. It's about how and why we do it. Because in Buddhism, intention is everything. You might be thinking, but doesn't the name of Buddha itself carry power? Yes, but the vehicle through which that name is transmitted is you. If your mind is filled with panic, chanting becomes a distraction, out of meditation. If your heart is clinging to survival out of fear, even a sacred name becomes a grasping hand, out an open offering. So let's talk about the right way and the wrong way to chant during illness. Chanting should never come from compulsion. It should never be forced. It is not a bargain with the divine. It is a surrender to truth. The Medicine Buddha Sutra itself teaches that healing arises when the mind is pure and not panicked, when the motivation is to awaken, not escape. One of the worst misunderstandings is this: if I chant perfectly, I won't die. But Buddhism never taught that chanting prevents death. It teaches that chanting purifies the mind so that when death comes, we meet it with clarity, not confusion. Let me share another story. David, a 72-year-old man in Taiwan, was diagnosed with terminal cancer. He had never been religious, but his daughter introduced him to Pure Line practice. At first, he chanted Amitabha Buddha Roboticali, driven by the hope that it would save him. But then he met a nun who changed his perspective. He said, "Don't chant to escape death, chant to accept life." With her guidance, David began chanting slowly, with presence. He reflected on his regrets. He forgave old ones. He allowed gratitude to fill his breath. At the end, he still died. But he died smiling, easeful, whispering Amitabha with full awareness. That's the power of correct practice. Now let's examine when chanting can become harmful. When it feeds delusion. Some people chant while refusing treatment, believing chanting alone will cure them. While miracles exist, this mindset often reflects spiritual bypassing, using faith to avoid facing reality. The Buddha never rejected medicine. In fact, he taught monks to care for the sick. Chanting and treatment can work together. One purifies the body, the other, the mind. When it creates fear of failure, I must chant 10,000 times or I'll go to hell. I missed a session. Will I suffer in the next life? This is not liberation. This is bondage in religious clothing. True chanting is done with joy, not pressure, with sincerity, not superstition. When it disturbs the body. Some people force themselves to chant when they're physically exhausted, even breathless. But the Buddha taught, know your body, respect it. If your chanting causes more harm, stop, or change the method, and mentally listen to recordings, visualize instead. The form is flexible, the essence is the same. So what is the essence? Surrender, presence, bliss. Whether you live or die, chanting becomes a bridge and not to another world, but to your true self. Now let's look at the benefits of chanting when done with right intention. It stabilizes the breath. It calms the nervous system. It centers the mind on something beyond ego. It reminds the soul of its innate purity. One study in Japan even found that patients who listened to Amitabha recitations daily experienced lower heart rates and less anxiety during terminal illness. This isn't magic, it's resonance. The sound of sacred syllables aligns your inner world with something vaster, more timeless, more serene. Let's also talk about deathbed chanting. Any Buddhist families gather around the dying and chant together. But again, it must be done with peace and not pressure. The person is in pain. Forcing chanting upon them may disturb their final consciousness. Instead, chant softly, gently, with life. Let your vibration become a field of compassion, not a ritual of fear. One teacher said, even one sincere chant, filled with faith, is worth more than 10,000 hollow repetitions. I want you to remember this mantra. May this sound awaken clarity, not control. May this name dissolve fear, not fuel it. I did, chant it, reflect on it. Whether you're sick or caring for someone who is, this simple wisdom can change everything. And if you're healthy, know and wait. Begin the practice today. Because chanting is not only preparation for death, it's training for life. For every moment that tests you. For every breath that feels heavy. For every time you forget your wholeness. And to remember. And to release. And to return. Thank you for joining me today on this deep, sometimes uncomfortable, but absolutely essential journey. Have you or a loved one ever chanted during illness? What did you experience? Share in the comments below. You never know who your story might help. And if this video brought you clarity, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone facing the unknown. May all beings be free from fear. May all chants be full of light. May all journeys lead us home. Thank you for watching this video.
Before you leave, here's something special. In Buddhism, we believe that every encounter carries a deeper meaning. Would you like to discover your true soul connection, the one written into your destiny? Take the Soulmate Test today and unveil the hidden truths of your journey. Click the link below and begin your path now. http://soulmate. You wisdom more, come, white.